Everybody, before the video starts, I just want to really deeply apologize to you guys for having uploaded the November movie haul way too damn late. I know by the time this video goes up, it's I don't know, I don't know, but I just know I didn't upload it in November. I tried to get it uploaded at the end of November, but sadly that didn't happen, so I really am sorry for that. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way here real quick, and yeah, enjoy the video. Well, hello everybody, Tim W. Rago here, Games, Movies, and Vlogs. How the hell is everybody? And welcome to the December 2022 movie haul, and man, have I got some great picks for you guys this month. So let's get this crazy shitstorm started, shall we? Okay, so for the first segment of this month's movie haul, I'm going to be talking about three movies here, but this character, in all three movies, he needs no introductions whatsoever, and there's a fourth movie coming out for this character, so I thought I'll just do all three all at once. For the first segment, we have John Motherfucking Wick, one of the most badass action characters I've ever seen. I mean, hell, John McClane ain't got nothing on this dude. And thank you. I want to give a shout out to my boy KMD St. Allen, who got me hooked on these movies. And I am a Keanu Reeves fan. I love him in the first three Matrix movies. Matrix Resurrections was it wasn't as good as I was really hoping it was. And then there's Constantine. God, I think when it comes to Keanu Reeves, I think Constantine is like my... Well, I mean, I think Constantine's like my first favorite character that Keanu Reeves has played, and John Wick is my number two. I mean, because Constantine, he's a DC hero, so he's a DC Comics hero, so why wouldn't I, have that character as my number one pick? But anyways, I just love... Every one of these movies is just crazy. And for those of you who have not seen these movies, spoilers if you even give a damn. John Wick is an ex-hitman who gets lured back into all this crazy shit, and these movies are the pure definition of someone's life just going down the shitter. I mean, you have the first movie where John Wick's wife gets murdered, and then he seeks revenge on his wife's killers by using his underworld connections that he has. And then 2 and 3, he just ends up getting a bounty put on his head after he ends up killing somebody of the organization that he was a part of, and each entry just gets more crazier and crazier than the last year. And I didn't know this at the time when I first watched these movies. My boy KMD St. Allen pointed out that every time John Wick kills somebody, they're all headshots. I mean, he would know that better than me, because he's probably seen these movies way more times than I have. I mean, I've only seen these movies once. One each. I've seen all three of these movies once. And number 3 is, if I remember right, number 3 is like my favorite one. And these I would highly recommend these movies for anybody who's a fan of Keanu Reeves and and any action movie fans out there. Who, if you are one of those, if you're one of those people who are just getting into the action genre, I would start with these. I would definitely start with these movies. They are excellent movies. The storylines for them are just damn. I mean, I cannot recommend these movies enough. These movies are something to truly behold. And with the fourth movie coming out, I think it's shit. I can't remember when John Wick 4 is coming out, but it's either next year or 24. Somebody down there in the comments section, tell me when the fourth one's coming out, because I don't remember. I just saw all I saw was the trailer, and I'm hyped. It's one of the movies I'm really hyped for, so I figure I'll get, the first three of them. So yeah, I would, like I said, I can't recommend these movies enough for any action movie aficionados. And I'm not myself. I mean, you've seen the movies that I have collected throughout this year since February. I mainly go for like creature movies and science fiction stuff with some fantasy thrown in there. But these, I had to get these. Of any action movie series, this honestly is like my number one, to be perfectly honest with you. It's like my number one action series ever. I just fucking love these movies. These movies are, it's like what the cinema's next great badass is here. Man, that quote can't be any more true. Okay, so for segment number 2 here of the December 2022 movie haul, I got some more superhero movies for you guys. I couldn't get the next MCU movie this time because last month I had a few I had a few days off, so I couldn't get as many movies as I could this time around, like, as much as I usually get. But I still got some superhero madness for sorry. I still got some superhero movies for you guys. Now, to start off, you guys know that ever since February, I have collected the DC animated movies. That stack right there is all the movies where Kevin Conroy, may he rest in peace, does Batman's voice, and then you got the rest of the DC animated movies there. So I got the next one on the list, and it's this one, Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Now, I've never seen this movie, much like a whole shitload of the DC animated movies. I've never seen this, so, but from what I've read on the back of the cover, it's basically like, it's Batman versus Jack the Ripper, and everything about this is like 1800s Batman or some shit like that. So whenever I get to watching this, I'm actually very interested to see how this movie turns out. I mean, throughout comic book and superhero history, you've had famous comic heroes. Sorry, I almost belched. You've seen famous comic heroes take on very well-known villains that actually existed throughout history. So I really am interested in seeing how this one plays out when I get to it. And the next movie, this movie needs no introduction whatsoever. It is the absolute funniest movie in the live-action DC universe, or the DC extended universe. I don't know why it's called that. It's just call it the live action DC universe. The LA DCU. LA DCU, just call it that. It's Shafrickin' I remember I saw this movie in theaters the year it came out, which was 2019. I remember seeing this movie and I was laughing most of the way through. This movie's hilarious. Anybody who is a DC fan who has not seen this movie yet, I would so recommend watching it. The final battle, I don't know, it's like the fight scenes. I don't really remember the fight scenes very well, to be perfectly honest with you, but I do remember this movie being one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, even for a superhero movie. I mean, I don't know if in the comics if Shazam was a comedy as a comic book, but this movie's just I can't, just like John Wick, I can't recommend this movie enough right here. Anyone who has not gotten a chance to watch this needs to watch this. Either get it as a physical copy like I've got here, or watch it on streaming service or whatever. And hell, Superman makes a cameo at the end of this, and I mean the real good Superman, Henry Cavill. And I really am happy that that actor is returning as Superman, because his version of Superman is just pure awesomeness at its best. So yeah, when it comes to DC movies, definitely gotta get this. Y'all definitely gotta get this movie, because it kicks ass and the comedy is just damn. Hell, it even got to a point where what do you call it, at work, little story for you about this movie. Well, it's with me personally, at any of you people here in Las Vegas, you all know the store, the grocery store, Sprouts. And for those of you who don't know, Sprouts is a grocery store that sells mainly, and I'm not kidding about this, organic stuff. I'm not kidding. When I worked there, guys, every box of cereal, nothing at this place was like stuff you find at like Walmart or Albertsons. Everything was like it was all organic stuff. It was like a more healthier kind of store, I guess. And we would always have team meetings every so often, and I think it was like every week and a half or something. We would, I think it was like a morning thing if you were opening, and at the end of the meeting, the store manager would have all of us put our hands in a group and do the whole like put your hand down and 1 2 3 shout something, and everybody else would shout 1 2 3 Sprouts, but with me I would shout 1 2 3 Shazam. That's how much like of an impact that this movie had on me when I first saw it, to make a joke, make a thing about it at work. So if any of you guys have done that as well, please put that in the comments if you guys have done or can relate to that story of whatever impact this movie made on you. Please do in the comments. Okay, so for the next segment, this movie gets its own little segment here for this month's movie haul. Now, we all know this movie. It's the black sheep of a series that started out as, one of the best pieces of cinema history, and then according to, mainstream audiences or whatever, and critics and all kinds of other shit, it devolved into into a bunch of trashy sequels and shit, like according to most people, sorry, I almost belched again, most movie series do. So here we go. I now have Jaws 3. Now, I've had 1, 2, and The Revenge for a while, and now I finally got this movie. Now, for this one, it was, for those of you who don't know, Jaws 3 came out in the year 1983, and it was released in 3D. Much like Amityville 3, and then Friday the 13th 3. So, 3D made this, like, big resurgence in the 80s, and this was one of those movies that that decided, hey, let's join in on that craze. And like the teaser trailer for this, for having the shark fin come towards the camera while the 3 tally marks appear on the screen. Like, the teaser trailer makes this movie look like it's going to be terrifying. But, I mean, even oh, damn. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Hey, sorry about that, folks. Holy shit. Damn. Okay, if you guys hear like any dings or anything in the background, that's my phone. That's my phone, you know, giving me notifications and shit. So, anyways, this movie, I remember watching this movie on AMC one time because AMC used to do marathons of the Jaws movies. They would play them all at once and like all in one go. But the weird thing is though is that they would play them like sometimes they would go 1 2 3 4 and then other times they would go 4 3 2 1, which made no sense at all. Like if you're gonna do a marathon of movies, just do them 1 2 3 4. You know what I mean? And I remember watching this on TV, and you know, this isn't a 3D DVD. This is clearly not a 3D Blu-ray or none of that shit. So, I mean, I remember like the scenes that were done with the 3D effect. I mean, I'm pretty sure with 3D the effects those certain scenes look great where, you know, there's like a severed arm that comes at the camera, and then there's like a severed fish head that comes at the camera. And then there's like a submarine that's like directly in front of the camera with the ocean in the background, and it turns. I'm pretty sure those scenes look great in 3D, but in 2D it just looks really off. And the scene that sticks out to me, that as much as I like Jaws, as much as I really, really do like this series, the part that I will forever remember when I first watched this movie on TV was, there's like this slow-mo scene of, well, before I talk about that, I need to tell you the plot of this thing. Like, apparently, like, okay, you can see here a deadly new attraction, right? And then look at the cover. There's like this resort-looking thing going on. Well, the whole plot of this movie is that there's like a SeaWorld that opened up somewhere, and the big attraction is like this undersea walking tunnel thing where the visitors go directly under the water and they can be with the fish in their natural environment or whatever it was. It's been like a really long time since I've seen this movie. And a great white shark gets caught up in the building of this place, you know, by accident. So they end up killing the little bastard. But then the 35-foot pissed off mom shows up and just, you know, gives the movie the title here. And the one scene that sticks out to me is a scene where there's a shot of Mama Jaws coming up towards the camera, and like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to the 3D thing, this scene, oh my god, like the other 3D scenes, or the scenes that were made to be in 3D, I can excuse that, but this one scene, I can't forgive it. I mean, and this is coming from a guy who watches The Asylum, by the way. There's a scene where Mama Jaws is coming slowly at the camera towards a sheet of glass, and the way this shark looks against the green screen in the background, you could so tell it was a freaking green screen. The shark looks like this. It literally looks like this. It looks like they took a piece of cardboard and cut out the shark, and then just had it slowly doing this in front of the freaking green screen, and then just added in the effect of the glass breaking. It's, honest to God, it's like out of any effects bits that I've seen, that one scene has got to be the absolute most ludicrous shot of the freaking shark I've ever seen. And I'm really picky on shark movies to begin with, but that scene forever sticks out in my mind as the absolute worst visual effects shot I have ever seen. Because the shark don't even move. Her tail doesn't go back and forth like sharks when they swim. They go like this. No, that thing just goes doesn't move. The shark doesn't move at all, and it's just the worst visual effects shot I've ever seen. Hell, I think I prefer the shitty Tyrannosaurus Rex suit from The Land Unknown over that damn thing. Like, Jesus. But overall, like, the rest of the effects are actually not that bad, really. I mean, they're not as good as, the first two Jaws movies, but, this one just, I don't know, it just, it just, I don't know. I mean, if you like I can only recommend this people who just like Jaws, to be honest. That's the only group of people I can recommend this movie to. If you just love this series and are willing to just watch the Jaws movies in one go, then go for it. But otherwise, I don't know. If you're curious and check it out, whatever. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And for those of you who don't know what scene I'm talking about, look it up on YouTube. It's oh dear God. That one shot of the shark really sucks. Okay, so for the next segment, we have here's a little bit of a surprise for you. Sorry, I almost stuttered there. Here's a movie that just came out this year. Holy shit, it's been a long time since I've covered a movie that literally just came out. Like, a while back when I talked about, The Batman with, Robert Pattinson in it. Like, holy shit, a movie that's actually more recent for once. Beast. Now, I have never seen this, like, at all, but from the trailers I've seen and from what I've been reading up on this movie's about Idris Elba basically taking on a giant lion. And just from this little screenshot back here, just look at how big this son of a bitch is. Look at Idris Elba right here, and then look at that, like, damn. Like, holy shit. Now, I wonder, now, that's gotta be some crazy shit right there. Just look at the size difference between those two. So, just from that, I'm hoping this is actually gonna be a good movie. And I'm sorry, but really? Dude, really? I'm sorry, but could you have picked a better freaking slogan for this? It sounds like... This isn't even... No, this isn't even... This is a Fast and Furious thing. No, this doesn't even... I mean, I guess the movie fits from what the trailer showed of Idris Elba's character, protecting his family from, from this thing, but I'm sorry, but that just sounds... It sounds too much like Fast and Furious, I'm sorry. I mean, I know Idris Elba was in the Fast and Furious spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw, but dude, I'm sorry, not a fan of the slogan here. I mean, I guess it fits, but I don't know. It just sounds a little too Fast and Furious-ish for, this kind of movie. Hate on it in the comments if you want to. Whatever. I don't give a damn. I don't really give a shit. So yeah, I've never seen this, but I hope it actually is a good movie. I hope the CG on the non-human star of this movie's great. So yeah, whenever I get to it, I hope I might have actually have high hopes for this one. Okay, so for this next movie, you all have seen me talk about Sci-Fi Channel original movies a lot on this in this series. Well, I wouldn't say a bunch, but you've seen me talk about a few of them, and I managed to find one. No, sorry, I almost belched again. I apologize. Um, like I felt it there, and thank God it didn't come out again like it did when I was talking about Jaws 3. So I apologize for that. Now, this movie I've only seen like maybe one time, so I don't really have too many memories of it. But here we go, Lost Treasure of the Grand Canyon, and this thing here. I mean, look at past this weird sticker here. When I went to Zia's, sorry, I keep sorry, I almost belched again. I really don't mean to. I apologize. I really don't mean to do that. But there's this weird sticker right here, and it's so weird how now I've only seen this movie once, so like I said, I don't really have many fond memories of it, but the title alone just kind of sounds a little weird, because if you look at this is a Aztec temple, right? And this thing, which is on a screenshot on the back, I don't know if y'all can see that, but you see this thing, this gargoyle looking mofo right here on two legs, and you got the Aztec temple. So it's so you have that in this monster that is apparently Quetzalcoatl, a Q. No joke. That's Q in this movie, apparently. Like, holy shit. So you have Q in an Aztec temple, right? That's in Mexico, but Grand Canyon? Really? That's just confusing. Like, the title is just this cover itself and the title is confusing. Aztec, Grand Canyon. That's in the state of Arizona here in the US. That's far. This is like far from Arizona. Like, that is just really confusing. That I don't understand why that Grand Canyon. If this movie was called Lost Treasure of the Aztecs, you know, it would make sense. But I mean, what the hell? I'm sorry, the Grand Canyon part just kind of. I haven't even watched this movie yet, and already it's already messing with it. That just the name is already messing with me. That's really confusing. But, hey, it's a Sci-Fi Channel movie that has a monster in it, and knowing me, I'm a fan of, I'm a B-movie fan, so I can't really help it. Just, how does that make any sense, though? That's just weird. Okay, so for the next three movies I got for this month's movie haul, now you probably saw by after the projector footage here, there's a picture of a Walmart here in Las Vegas. That is because all three of these movies I got from Walmart, hence why this is the Walmart section. Instead of doing each of these movies as three separate segments, I figure I'll just do them all at once. And the thing about Walmart is that they're really hit or miss when it comes to movies anymore, or to me anyway, or at least like finding movies that grab my attention, and it's been a while, so I figure I'll talk about all three of these at once. So the first movie that I got was Creature of the Mist, and I've never even heard of this movie. I saw this cover and I'm like, holy shit, look at that. So, and what's so weird is, now, for those of you who have seen it, and for those of you who have not, the original Frankenstein movie from 1931 was an hour and 10 minutes long. This movie, it says on the back that it's only 63 minutes, and 63 minutes is an hour and 3 minutes. And from the, what the back of the cover says is that this thing, there's this mist that covers this town, like in China, like in China, I think, here, and something comes down and starts grabbing him. I so hope that this monster is Lovecraftian. I really do hope that this is a monster from Lovecraft. Has to be. Mist covering a town, and tentacles start coming down and start grabbing people and shit. And a hero tries to fight the curse. I do love the fact, though, that this takes place like in ancient China. You can tell by everyone's like the costume design and the look of the buildings here, and you know, just the whole setting. I've never even heard of this movie or seen it, but this cover alone kind of tells you what time period this is in. And I really do hope that the monster looks like this, because this looks badass. And I just wonder how much story they can pack in an hour and 3 minutes. That's really interesting, actually. But like I said, I do hope that this thing is Lovecraftian, like an actual monster created by H.P. Lovecraft that they turned into a movie. Now, for this next movie, you all know I am a huge fan of giant snake movies. I love giant snake movies. The Boa and Python series, the Anaconda series, and among others. So I found this movie also, and I'm telling you, all three of these movies I found all at once. So this was sitting next to Creature of the Mist, Python Island. Damn, just the covers of these, and with this movie, it looks like the CGI in this movie is actually, from the main screenshot here, it looks like the CGI in this movie is actually not that bad. And it says, like, from the back of the cover, it says, like, these explorers go onto, you know, some island or jungle or whatever, trying to find some magical tree, and then there's these monsters that either live on the island or guard the tree or whatever. So, and it's so funny how it's called Python Island, and I'm assuming this is a python, or I don't know how they can say it. I don't know why it's even called Python Island, because look at this snake. I mean, this thing looks more dragon than python. I mean, it's a snake with a horn on its head here, and then you got a giant cobra right here. Oh no, oh wait a minute, no, this is that monster. Oh, okay, I can see the hood back here. I just figured that out as I'm looking at this. So it's so weird how the movie's called Python Island, and yet the giant snake is like a cobra, is a big-ass cobra. So, you know, if the CG, I mean, of course it's going to be CGI. If they do use puppets in this movie, then okay, fine. But just from this screenshot here, and this one right here, the CGI in the movie actually looks pretty good, because half the time, foreign films actually like to have really decent looking CGI, or in some cases, amazing CGI. Troll Hunter, anybody? So yeah, whenever I watch this movie, I hope this one is amazing. I hope this one turns out good. And it's really short. It's only an hour and 16 minutes. So, I mean, is there like a resurgence of short creature films or short horror movies or some shit like that? Now, this last one, I got it because, you know, like Creature of the Mist in Python Island, I saw the cover and I'm like, and the title. Now, I don't know if I've said this in any of the other movie haul videos, but I love versus movies. You know, movies like Freddy vs. Jason, Godzilla vs. Kong, King Kong vs. Godzilla, Alien vs. Predator, Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, the Mega Shark series. I love monster versus monster films. To me, those are always the more fun of the bunch. Well, I can't really say Freddy vs. Jason, really. But anyways, I just love versus films, and I saw this. Now, look at this. Sorry. Oh, damn. Sorry. Sorry about that, folks. Hold on a couple seconds. Sorry about that, folks. Truly, I'm sorry about that. So look at this cover. Look at that. Snow monster versus ice shark. Ice shark. Yeah, think about that for a second. Now look at these things. Look at that. I mean, does this shark have multiple eyes or something? Like, what is that thing? And then that's the snow monster, apparently. I mean, on the front cover, it kind of looks the same when you flip the cover around. But wow, ice shark. There's a snow monster. I can understand. Ice shark. I mean, I know there are those two other B movies, Avalanche Sharks and Snow Sharks. I think those are two separate movies, or they're like the same movie, just with a different title. But there is a movie about sharks in the snow. But wow, some movie studio in China decided to take that to, crank that up to 11 and have Snow Monster. Like, damn. Honest to God, I've never heard of this movie, nor have I even seen this at all, but I hope this becomes a series. Much like how you have, how the Asylum has the Mega Shark films. For those of you who don't know, it's Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus, Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark, Mega Shark versus Colossus, and I've been reading up that the Asylum is trying to do Mega Shark versus Moby Dick, and Asylum, if you ever watch this, please, for the love of God, get that movie made. Please. Please make more Mega Shark movies. Seriously, please make more. Please, for the love of God, make more Mega Shark movies, Asylum. So yeah, I really do hope that that whatever studio was it Yuku? I think that's pronounced Yuku, because look at the way it's spelled. Or Yaoku. It could be Yaoku, but the way it's spelled looks like it's Yuku. So Yaoku Information Technology Company. Oh, it's in Beijing. So, I hope that they make more movies of this character, because this thing looks badass. Snow Monster. I swear they need to make him make a series of him. Snow Monster versus, I don't know, Snow Monster versus Jungle Cat, or versus Super Cat, or Snow Monster versus Super Croc, or whatever. I don't know, but or hell, Snow Monster versus I don't know, versus Super Bat. I don't know, but I hope they make a series of movies with this thing, with the Snow Monster, because I can see like series potential with already B-movie series potential with this thing, of having Snow Monster fight more monsters. I mean, come on, Yaoku Information Technology Company, do it, please do it. And I ain't being sarcastic about this either. Like, with me being a monster fan and a bunch of other monster fans out there, there is already, I can see potential of a movie series of Snow Monster. So please, if you guys ever watch these, watch my videos here, or watch this video in particular, please make another movie of Snow Monster, or make more movies of Snow Monster, because this movie looks like probably the best out of the three here. So. Okay, so for the last two movies of this month's movie haul, I've saved the best two for last. Now, to start off, now you all remember, I think it was, like last month or whenever it was that I mentioned, I think it was last month when I talked about I got this. Now, I have the collector's editions of the first two Alien movies. Now, what's really cool about these collector's editions is that... Hold on a minute. Like, I can feel the need to belch, like, in my stomach, but it's not, like, coming up for some reason. Just give me a sec. sorry about that, everybody. Now, as I was saying, the great thing about the collector's editions of these movies is that they not only have the version that came out in theaters in the year they came out, but then they also have the extended versions of these films. Like the full extended version of Alien is 1 hour and 56 minutes long, and then you have the extended version of Aliens, which is 2 hours and 24 minutes. And extended versions are always the better version to watch because it's the entire movie. So that's why I am so happy that these collector's editions exist of these films. But yes, I looked them up and they do exist. So I managed to get my hands on the collector's edition of Alien 3 here. Now this movie is a very troubled kind of movie. It's a troubled film because the teaser trailer for this movie says anyway, and I will link it down in the description below if I can find the teaser trailer. Actually, if you don't see the link in the description below, then I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. I'm pretty sure I can. But in the teaser trailer, it says that, that there's going to be like a xenomorph thing on Earth, finally, But apparently that was made before the script was even finished or some shit like that, which was really stupid. It's a really stupid thing to do. And this movie, what the end result we have is, and I'm talking about this movie with heavy spoilers and everything, for those of you who have not seen this, but for those of you who have, you all know what I'm talking about. So, this movie was directed by David Fincher, and this was his very first movie. So, you give this character, you give this monster and the name to any director, you'd hope that they would come out with some good shit. But David Fincher, man, he got raked over hot coals. He was, oh my god, he was bent over and screwed in the ass, man, while making this movie, because 20th Century Fox did a lot of studio interference with this movie. And the sad thing is sorry about that. I almost burped again, but I didn't want to make it obnoxious. I didn't want to be obnoxious about it, so sorry about that. And the plot of this movie is, after Sigourney Weaver, there's a chest buster right there. But Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley, the military character Hicks, and the 10-year-old and the little girl from the colony Newt, after their escape in Aliens here, there was a face hugger that somehow got on board the ship. I don't know how. They don't really explain how. Like, the face hugger literally, during the opening credits of Alien 3, just literally shows up and, starts doing its thing. So, which makes this ship crash on a prison planet. Now, the problem with that is, every character in this movie, aside from Ripley, and actor Charles Dance, and for those of you who don't know, it's Tywin Lannister and Alan Jonah from Godzilla King of the Monsters. He plays in this movie as the prison, the doctor, and then there's also actor Charles S. Dutton, and for those of you who don't know, I've only seen Charles S. Dutton in this movie, and also in the 2014 Asylum cash-in of the 2014 remake of RoboCop, Android Cop, where he played the mayor of LA. So, yeah, I've never seen him in... those are the only two movies... These are the only two movies I've seen Charles S. Dutton in, so... Aside from, Sigourney Weaver, aside from Sigourney Weaver, Charles S. Dutton, and Charles Dance, they're the only three likable characters in this freaking thing. Every other character, with them being a prisoner, every other character is a piece of shit. Like, everybody else is... It's hard to pick, other than the three main actors that I mentioned, it's really hard to root for anybody. Because everyone in this movie's an asshole. as far as I remember, like, everyone in this movie is a complete asshole. Like, 97% of the characters in this movie. I mean, I know it's a prison world, but fuck. And the crazy thing is that there's, and like I said about these two having, you know, the extended versions, this movie does, this collector's edition does as well. And the extended version is called the Assembly Cut. And the Assembly Cut is basically the version of the movie that a lot of people like a lot better because it adds more characterization to some of the prisoner characters, which makes them seem less like, which makes some characters look less of an asshole than they do in the theatrical version. And also, I don't know which version is which, but there's like two different versions of when you see the xenomorph bust out, and it doesn't come out looking like that. That's not in the movie at all. I kid you not, why a chest buster is on the cover for Alien 3 kind of makes no sense, because the xenomorph does not come out like that at all. The xenomorph comes out looking more like this. It comes out whole. Actually, it comes out, the thing comes out whole. And in one version, it comes out of a dog, and then in another version, it comes out of an ox. I think the Assembly Cut has the version where the xenomorph busts out of an ox, I believe. So, yeah, and the weird thing is that it runs on all fours, because the thing about xenomorphs is that whatever life form the facehugger attaches to, the resulting xenomorph basically emulates the DNA of that life form. Like, say, when you see xenomorphs mainly attached to humans, the xenomorphs mainly walk on two legs. I mean, well, they do walk on all fours, but their bodies are pretty much like humanoid, almost. So with this movie, since the xenomorph attached itself, since one facehugger attached itself to like a quadrupedal animal, then then the creature runs on all fours, which kind of doesn't make any sense, because during the opening credits of this movie, there's a facehugger on the ship, and it wreaks havoc with everything and makes the ship crash. So does that mean the facehugger managed to survive the crash, get off the ship, and attach itself to the ox or the dog? Like, that part's a little confusing. Now that I'm sitting here talking about this movie, it's got me thinking. And the effects in this movie, the effects are very hit or miss. Like, there's some points where the xenomorph is a guy in a suit, and the suit looks great. And then there's this puppet. They use some CGI, and the puppet, and it's in front of a green screen the entire time. You can tell it was in front of a green screen. It just looks very dated. It looks very dated. And that's the main issue with this movie. And like David Fincher, he wanted this movie to be just as terrifying as the first Alien. He really was trying with this, but you know, studio interference made this movie like it is, and I feel sorry for David Fincher, because from what I've read, David Fincher's movies are great. Like, he's a great filmmaker, and it's just insane that his very first movie turned out to be people either like it or not like it. And there's one moment of this movie. There's, like I was talking about with Jaws 3, how there's a standout moment. There's a standout moment with this movie that it makes me laugh every time I see it, where there's a scene where the warden, the prison warden, or I think it's the prison warden anyway, the alien, like, the xenomorph grabs him and then just kills him right on the spot and takes him up into like a air shaft and just murders him, and blood starts pouring down from this like pipe in the ceiling, and all the prisoners are just sitting up there and they're just watching this go down, all terrified. And then then you see this one dude, just one of the prisoners, he stands there looking up at all this, and he just goes, "Fuck!" Like, it makes me laugh every time I see it, Because he just stands there and that's all he says. That's all he says. I will link that scene in the description below too, because that scene's easy to find on YouTube. It is one of the funniest scenes ever in a movie that's supposed to be serious, and he says it with a straight face. He says this with a complete straight face. I bet you everybody on set was dying, laughing their ass off when that dude said that line. That's like the one moment that will always stand out to me from this kind of movie. Fuck! Oh my god. It's his line delivery is why it's hilarious. But would I recommend Alien 3? I'd recommend the assembly cut. Definitely the assembly cut, because like I was saying earlier, when it comes to when I was talking about these, when I was talking about the first two Alien movies, that the extended versions are the best versions to watch because it's the full movie. So definitely, if you can get this collector's edition, I would definitely get it. Definitely, I would so get it here. Just look at that. Just look at the beauty. You know what? I'll do that after I do. You all know this movie, Alien Resurrection. Now this one is, now when it comes to the Alien films, or the original four anyway, my favorites are Aliens and Alien Resurrection because of the fact that there's a bunch of them. I mean, having just, one terrorize people, I mean, it's good, but I love it when there's like a horde of aliens, like in, Aliens and Alien Resurrection. I love that more than just having one by itself, which why this one and Aliens are my two favorites out of the original four. And this one is the most hated out of the bunch, for some reason. I really don't know why. I've seen this movie a bunch of times and I still don't know why it's hated. But, again, for those of you who have not seen this movie, the entire plot of this movie, it takes place, literally 200 years after the events of Alien 3, because, in Alien 3, Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley dies. They kill her off. And apparently the facehugger on the ship attached itself to Ripley. Well, no. Okay, that other segment when I was talking about Alien 3, I completely screwed that up because, or whatever, or no, I don't think I did, because apparently there's like an alien queen inside. There is a chest buster that comes out of Ripley as she's dying, so they clone her somehow. I don't know how they managed to get Ripley's DNA when her body turned to ash at the end of 3. So please excuse that whole little confusing thing a little bit ago. Because when it comes to trying to make sense of some parts of movies, it kind of messes with your brain a little bit. So yeah, they somehow managed to clone her, and this is in the opening of the movie. This is the Ripley clone that's in the movie, and and Sigourney Weaver's the Ripley clone is like, well, number 7 or number 8. I think she's number 7, because all the other clones they've had of her, they've made of her. Sorry, little tongue tied there for a hot second. They were all like failed experiments, and you have some where like with alien tails and shit. It's kind of freaky stuff. And then she ends up, and she has acid blood. There's a human with acid blood, which is really weird. And they took when they cloned her, the chestbuster got cloned with her, and apparently it was a queen. So then they use her as, military. The Weyland Corporation that was in the first 3 is completely gone now, or at least they make it look that way. They don't explain if Weyland-Yutani was shut down or not. They just mention that name and say that it was very prevalent during Ripley's time when she was alive. So they use her as like a military experiment, and then there's like, a bunch of other aliens that come about, and they're clone, and the queen starts laying eggs per usual, and then they start trying to make weapons of the thing, because the whole entire point of this series is to weaponize the xenomorphs. That's literally been the entire goal of this entire series, which is insane. And you know, in Resurrection, it's like, oh, they finally do it, but they underestimate the intelligence of xenomorphs, and of course shit goes wrong, a bunch of people die, you know. And what's so funny is that this movie was directed by Joss Whedon. Yeah, the guy who would later direct the Avengers movies, and would also later fuck up Justice League, or the theatrical version of... Sorry. Or at least the theatrical version of Justice League, the overly colorful theatrical version of Justice League, which is not a good movie to begin with. You know, always, every time I talk about that movie, always get the Snyder Cut, the 4-hour-long Snyder Cut, because that's the better version. So, yeah. And apparently this movie was... There's some trivia out there that I've read. I don't know if this is true or not, but there's like some trivia out there that apparently this movie was supposed to be a parody. Yeah, this was supposed to be a comedic spoof of these. But while making it, everyone was taking the movie seriously on set, so they ended up making it part of this. So yeah, this isn't a... because nothing in here is funny, and... They do use a lot of CGI in this movie, and the CG is very hit or miss. Like, there's a lot of shots of the xenomorphs where the CGI actually looks great, and then there's, like, some CG shots, like in outer space or whatever, that do look a little dated, you know, because this movie came out, I think, in 1997, I believe? I think this was 1997, I think this was, that this movie came out? Or sometime like in the mid-90s or whatever. So, what do you call... Oh, and here's the xenomorphs. There's a shot of the xenomorph swimming underwater, and that's what the back of this cover is right here. And apparently, much like the first three, there's an extended version of this. I did not know that until I opened this up and, you know, started looking at the cover here. Because all of these movies do this. Like, check this out. All four of these movies have this. Oh, and here's the Ripley clone. This is what she looks like in this movie. And see, look at this. Every one of these movies does this. See, you take it out, you have this. You know, you have the two DVDs, and then there's like an information book about the different cuts of the movie or whatever. So you have that, and all of them do this, which is why I would highly recommend getting these collector's editions of these movies. And I didn't know there was an extended version of this, so that is actually awesome, because I really don't know if the version I've grown up watching was the theatrical version or not, because I never knew there was even an extended cut of this movie. So because apparently, from what the information booklet says, that in the extended cut, there's an alternate opening and an alternate closing that takes place on Earth, because the theatrical version just shows the survivors on a ship, on the main ship, and they see Earth, and then the movie just ends pretty much. And apparently in this version, there's the ending that's on Earth, like the ship lands and then, you know, they sit around talking and stuff. So this movie is pretty it's pretty crazy, and it's like a little like different from the main storyline. It stands out among the original 4 Alien films because this followed a consistent like thing, whereas this movie is like completely its own thing. Sorry, I almost got tongue-tied there. So what I recommend, so it's like the way, before I even get to that recommending part, the way I've seen general audiences say these movies, fantastic, you either like it or not, absolutely hated. I would recommend all 4 of these movies together because these are classic science fiction films, well, science fiction slash monster movies, and they're all great. You know, I think, to me personally, they're all great films. So definitely, if you guys ever can, definitely get the, you know, they all have the extended versions here, so definitely get these. Trust me, they're worth. Trust me, they are worth. They are worth buying. So yeah, now I'm happy that I have like the original 4 and Aliens 3 and 4. I forgot to mention, I've had on bootlegs for a while, just like Aliens. I had it on a bootleg. Well, I had Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection on bootleg, so I'm happy I managed to get them on, you know, regular DVDs here. So Alien, I've never had on a bootleg. So this was like the first actual DVD of this movie that I've ever bought. So I've rambled on enough about this series, so definitely, like I said a few other times already, definitely get these collector's editions of them where they have the theatrical cuts, the extended cuts, and the information booklets on the on why the DVDs are released that way, this way, and you know, all the behind the scenes shit that's on the whatever. Just get these. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna end with a shot showing off up close how just badass these covers are. Well, folks, you know, I've been doing these movie haul videos since February of this year, and well, this is my last one. This is, look at all these, every one of these movies, and you know, of course, TV shows. Every one of these movies, these are all the movies I bought during these movie hauls, and I've watched a few of them when I was hanging out with my boy KMD St. Allen, but I haven't touched none of these. I haven't watched any of these movies ever this whole time I've been doing these. So yeah, this is my last movie haul. So I really do appreciate you guys all sticking with me since February this year, and I hope you enjoyed watching these videos as much as I've enjoyed making them, because, you know, for somebody who is movie obsessed, you know, it was a real pleasure, you know, doing this series for you guys, and you know, I need to start watching. I need to start watching these, because look at all this. I mean, I know there's a few of them that I've watched growing up, like, for example, like Alligator, and you know, and ones like in TV shows like Frasier and the original Teen Titans. But you know, I gotta start binging and everything. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video as well as the rest of this series, and go check out the playlist that I've made of these, in case you guys just want to, you know, binge on the entire series, and maybe start, you know, collecting the same movies that I've collected here over the months of this year since February. It really sucks that I did not think to do this until February. It really sucks I didn't think to do it in January, because if I would have done it 12 months straight instead of 11, that would have been a little more awesome. So yeah, this franchise now comes to an end here, and like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me ramble on about movies like I do, because I am well, movie obsessed, and I know there's a lot of you out there who are as well. So yeah, please be sure to like, share, and consider subscribing. And please come follow me on social media. On the top up there, on the bottom right corner, sorry, of the banner, there are links to my Instagram, LizardMan2021, as well as my DeviantArt, Dimetrosaur 2022. I post some kaiju fan art there, even though I sadly haven't posted any art up there in a long time, because I haven't finished any of my art projects, which really sucks, I'll admit. But still, go and follow me on both of those, and yeah, so now the projector shuts off one last time here. Alright, so this is Tim W. Rago, and I'm going to say peace out, everybody, and I'll see you all in whatever video I decide to do next. I'm going to just end this franchise with a shot of all the movies I've collected this year.